Let's go. It's time for the update, you guys. We've been talking about this for about well over a week, but all the shelves, everything, all the work behind you, it's all been put together. Now, I know a lot of you guys are familiar with that section over there, so we will still continue throughout. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to expand, you guys. We actually ended up moving a lot of stuff over here, a lot of WWE mixed in with a bunch of OGs, man. We'll go ahead and cover this area and then work our way all the way back around. This is all the brand new shelving that you might not be familiar with. Top right-hand corner, you're going to see Messiah. You're going to see Seth Rollins, Monday Night Rollins, actually just about every single version that you've seen, even the earlier days. Back in the youngins when he used to do his own thing, right? Except he had Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, Kane, and everybody else alongside. Shield will all transition too. You'll see that Dean Ambrose is located towards the middle. Big Dog on the left, and then you're going to see the entire gears. The red, white, purple, orange. A lot to cover up here, you guys. Even on the back shelving, you're going to see some of my favorite mock figures, such as the DX. You got Billy Gunn, Road Dogg, X-Pac, Triple H. You even got the China 2-pack back there. And one of my truly gems right there that I'm going to go ahead and consider, Shawn Michaels ringside exclusive. Working your way back down, you're going to see the Hulkster, every gear, not just Mattel, but also Storm Collectibles, because there's been two different people that made them. And then on the back, you'll see all of the mock figgies that we got alongside with that. Rolling all the way back down, we're going to see the Macho Man, ooh yeah, and the Ultimate Warrior. You can't have Macho Man if Ultimate Warrior isn't somewhere in the frame. I gotta say, this is gonna be one of my favorite highlights within this section, man. It's so colorful. Every gear that they've released for Warrior, dude, it's been outstanding. Look at this one, man. This one actually comes with a little fabric, and that goes the same for the Macho Man. He says, you need to come and subscribe, my friend. You need to hit that subby. Drop a like if you guys want to continue through these shelves, because we got a lot going on. Moving back down, we're gonna see Bret the Hitman Hart and the Stinger. Young Sting, later Sting, every version, even the WCW days, it's going to be all mixed in with the title, the jacket, a little bit of rubber going on back there, but that's all good. And if you guys look all the way in the far back corner, you're going to see an earlier version of what Toy Biz used to do with the Hitman. Coming back down, you're going to see Latino Heat. Latino Heat. We have Eddie Guerrero and one of his arch rivals, Kurt Angle. And the Milkomania, I think it's just suiting, man. You can't have like Kurt without the Milkomania truck. On the left side, you're going to see Mick Foley, Cactus Jack, Dude Love, as well as Shane O'Mac. Some of my favorite hardcore legends mixed in all together, right alongside with Goldberg. On the left side, you're going to see WWE Masters of the Universe. This is going to be the complete collection. Most of them are mock. I do have some that are loose. You're going to see them located up front. And then I also have the ring located right underneath there, but we'll get over there in just a sec. Coming back up here, we got the Heartbreak Kid. That's right. Shawn Michaels, Sweet Chin Music, RKO. This is kind of the mixture of the evolution. Once you get up to Triple H, you'll see how all this mixes in real well. And then you're going to about to hear that glass break. Before you do, though, I want to show you the Batista collection, because even Blue Tista had to been a thing. And I do got some Nature Boy. If you look up here in the corner, you'll see this like statue. Can't remember what toy company had made that, but I think that fits real well with the rest of Evolution. WWE Fan Central will be all the way in the back, Maki. And then I also do have the Ultimate Edition, but you're going to see that located up top. The whole collection of the Ultimate Edition figures, those will all be up there. Now, Stone Cold Steve Austin, we got some ringside exclusives. We also have some from the recent regular line mixed in with The Rock, the People's Champ. One of my favorites right here, the Entrance Greats. You got to have the little stand that just really brings it as a whole, coming all the way back up top. You're going to see more of a current era that's going to be devoted to Raw and SmackDown. So a little bit of mixture of both. Not like my top figgies from like current wrestlers, but some that I had to put up on the shelves. Coming on over here, this is going to be all Attitude Era. And I also do have a lot of current guys in bins. I'll show you those in just a bit, but I want to cover this area because this is the new shelf that is developed. Man, I found this at Goodwill. I think it was like $98, and there was no way that I could miss out on the opportunity. I mean, look at the layout on this, you guys. I like how it's all sectioned off in its own individual area, right? So over here, we got DX, we have the corporation, we got Vinnie Mac, we got Big Show, we got all the big boss men going on back there, as well as the rest of the squad, man. You'll see the freaking Three Stooges, you'll see China up front, Triple H, X-Pac, Road Dogg, and Billy Gunn. And yes, back there, those are customs. The Test and Big Albert couldn't be rounded up unless if you had Trish Stratus. So TNA, absolute piece that needs to be up front. Up here, we got some tag teams. We got some of the top tag teams during this time. We have the Dudley Boys. We have the Hardys. We also have the Brood. And yes, that is also a custom Gangrel. Actually, a lot of figures within this display, you're going to notice that they've not been made by Mattel, but yours truly or people in the community. One section down, you'll get some of the top superstars during this era, such as Austin, The Rock, Mankind, Kurt Angle, Chris Jericho. We also have Dean Malenko, Eddie Guerrero. We have all three plus one more that's going to be located all the way towards the corner. We'll cover that a little bit later on in the video. Coming down, we're going to get some more tag teams, but this is going to be more devoted to jobbers, whether it's mid-carders, and no, Rakishi's not one of them, of course, or RVD, but I'm talking about like these guys, right? And look, I ain't got nothing against the headbangers, but we all know that they never managed to level up as the Hardys were doing, or Edge and Christian. Coming over here, we have the Nation of Domination. We got the Mark Henry. That's the most recent Decade of Domination figure that really needed to round it up this area. Really, the only thing that I'm seeing that we're missing is going to be the Owen Hart, but you will find them up here with the Hart Foundation. So as an overall collection, you guys, Attitude Era is one of my top that I need to have a lot of the characters, whether it's tag teams, whether it's Vader, whether it's Ahmed Johnson, or the Patriot, RIP. I know the man just passed not too long ago. Back there, yes, Hardcore Holly, Bob Holly. I know a lot of you may be wondering, like, bro, you need to slow down. Well, actually, a lot of the figure reviews that you're going to see in this display, not just here, but really throughout, have been shown on the channel. So again, turn on that notification bell. Go check out the rest of the content. We also have Kane, Undertaker, and some of my top favorite figures right here as well. This was kind of like the transition. That's one thing that you'll notice up here. It will be still very much Attitude Era, but it will be transitioning into Ruthless. And then, yeah, yes, the backstage back there, or the entrance stage, that is a custom made right there to kind of tie in this whole era. And carrying on over to the table, I actually did make some changes. I know we made a specific devoted video in this area, but I moved all of my new generation figures that were located on the back in its own separate section with its own ring. This is going to be all Ruthless Aggression. Still to date, one of my favorite times, man. This was WCW joining with WWE. ECW is all tied in the mix, so you know that this is something that's got to be left up. And there is also another separate section that you will see on the actual shelf display that you'll see a lot of these characters, but in alternate attires in this same time frame. On the left side, you will get the Hell in a Cell made by Jack. So if you guys are wondering, dude, like, where the hell do I pick that up? Is that something? No, this is actually a lost stream. It might be brought back. I do think that now that they're doing like the whole crowdfund, this should be something that should be able to be reproduced here in the near future. And I really do hope so, man. For any WWE figure collector, you know that the Hell in a Cell, absolute gem right here. Oh, now carrying on to the left, yes, we're going to mix it in. We're going to have some superheroes, and then we'll carry back to the WWE figures. But I want to show you this right here before we go any further. Now on this side, you'll see a lot of Marvel. This will be the MCU. These will be all the villains. You'll see all the superheroes on that shelf over there. Carrying on up here, some of my favorite Storm collectibles. This shelf actually should not be making any sense, and it doesn't, but it's just some of my top favorite big figs that Storm has made. Up top, this one will make perfect sense, right? We got Spidey, we got the villains, we got the bad guys, and we also have a whole army located on the back to be able to keep all of these figgies at bay. Now on this table, this is going to be all Batman. Well, mainly all Batmobiles. You'll see something from the earlier days, from the animated series, as well as Joker. Like, Joker's one of my favorite characters when it comes to the Batman line, so you know we needed all those alternate looks. You'll see something right there in the younger man. This is kind of like that cringe series that they used to put out. If you guys watched it, it was horrible, man. Like, the fact that this was the popular thing to watch back then made no sense. But you know what? That's what spawned the birth of being able to what they've created these last few years, man. That Joker movie, top right there. And that goes the same for Tim Burton, right? We got to have the Tim Burton car. Otherwise, I don't think it would have spawned as to what you're picking up right here. And we are going to transition into more of the animated version. I got some of the top characters right here, but then you'll have all the villains on that second shelf over here. Carrying on over here, yes, the Batwing. This was the real thing, you guys. And I love this whole setup because what ends up doing is that it actually transitions into whether it's like the video game or some creations that I've kind of made myself. You'll see some of that Joker squad right there. I have a little bit of mixture of WWE figures mixed in with scaled up, because those head scans that you are seeing on those Joker figures, those actually did not come on those bodies. Those were based off the Two-Face, so a little touch up that we did do back there. And then back there, you guys, look at these figures, man. Freaking insane. If you guys ever played the video game, you guys know as to where all these are coming from. Really love this. And then this has a little bit of Spider-Man, X-Men, just some of like the mixture of all the stuff that I loved as childhood. You'll actually see some DBZ right there located on the corner. Moving back up here, all these are kind of more organized. These will all, like each shelf will have its own thing. So on the bottom, we got the entire Iron Man Hall of Armor. So we got the 60s, we got something from the 2000s, and I also do have some War Machine. I mean, there is no placement that I can do for War Machine, so I figured if I threw in some of those suits in here as well, it should blend in pretty good. Coming up here, animated series, right? Top 3 favorite cartoons during this era, Batman animated series, of course. Second, I would have to say the Spider-Man, and then I'm going to have to go with X-Men, but we'll talk about that in just a sec. But yes, all these figures have really gotten into the rare category, so nice to have a full collection of that. Coming up here, we're going to get to some TNMT. It's going to be mainly devoted like to NECA, but then again, you'll also get a little bit mixed in there, such as that truck back there. I know they started re-releasing it, but this is the original 1989, and we also had to level up right there on the crane. I had the one that was made by, I think it was like G1. It was like freaking enormous. It was probably scaled up to this high, so I had to get the one that was made by NECA. Up here on the top shelf, this is going to be Thor, so anything Thor related, that's all going to be located up top. And then up here we have a little bit of Avengers that's actually going to come all the way back down here and transition into some more. This is kind of like the extended characters, so anybody that has ever joined the Avengers, they will be all up here. Coming on the right side, this is going to be like sidekicks / villains / mixing in some of the characters that I don't know where the hell to put. I mean, yes, X-Men, one thing, a lot of characters, a lot of shelves for that. But when it comes to the Avenger villains, it kind of has to have its own section. Up here, though, we do have the Fantastic Four. So anything from the Galactic era or anything outer space, that will be all located up top. Moving right up to the next shelf, this is going to be the Avengers MCU. So if you guys did see the villains over there, these will be all the good guys. And I know we're powering through this whole entire video, but just know that there is so much damn figgies to cover, man. Like, so many cool stuff that they've made, whether it's Storm Collectibles. I love NECA right here. This isn't NECA, this is Sota. I know that Storm did start reproducing these. So some of those characters, such as Zangief, that's not the one that we saw over there. I wanted to keep these all tied in, so that way, like when we had the display laid out for the Street Fighters, it would all make sense. Now, X-Men, it's going to transition over here, but it's going to be with the X-Force. So all up top, it's going to be all X-Force. All up top up here is going to be all Hulk. So all the villains, transitioning into some DC as well as DBC. So I know, again, some of these shows don't make sense. I'm not a big DC fan, so that'll be the reason as to why you'll see a very small amount. On the other hand, though, when it comes to the X-Men, you're going to get a whole ton, you guys. You're going to get the Brotherhood. You're going to get the guys that were kind of fighting there throughout its entirety. Of course, a lot of them based off the animated series. That's what you'll mainly see on this shelf. Down here, it's going to be all X-Men as well, but you'll have more villains, more bad guys. Coming down all the way over here, we're going to have some of the big dudes. So some of the Build-A-Figures will be located on this section. And then coming down here, you'll see the Brood, you'll see Apocalypse, you'll see a whole ton. And this is going to be more current. So what you'll mainly see is that the classic, all the OGs, they will be all starting up top, and not just for the X-Men, but also for Spidey-Man. Quite possibly one of the best superheroes. Yes, he's not the biggest, but he's one of the smartest, one of the quickest. And as far as the Spidey sense, you really can't take away from this man. And if you guys are curious, that Venom, no, that was not made right there by Marvel Select, or actually take that back, Marvel Legends. Actually it was, but it was made into like the classic look. So the recent movie one that you guys just saw, that's actually a repaint. So as an overall custom, you guys, love that. 14 figs, still one of my favorite right there when it comes to the Venom display. This is actually actually, I would consider this more of the Venom, all the anti, Venom, or, whether it's demo Goblin, extras, whether it was like Spidey turning into a spider itself, and that's what you'll see back there. I know we did get one from the most recent Marvel Legends, but I think the Toy Biz, even though it did lack articulation, I think the overall likeness as to what they were going with for the series, I definitely preferred that one a lot better. Coming down here, we have a little bit of Savage Lands, so the continuation of X-Men, so it'll be mixed in right there with it all. I mean, Savage Lands, it only makes sense. That's where they kind of gain their popularity, so it only makes sense that I put it in. And as we did mention, all these Avengers right here, these will be all of the extra guys that we did see throughout. Coming over here, we'll get a little bit of the classic. This is going to be based off the original 1989 TNMT characters. I have all 4, so if you guys are curious, dude, why is that one dark brown? Well, that's what you got to know, man. Back in the earlier days, they kind of did it differently, man. Not all turtles did look the same, and when it came to the toy line, I think that's the reason why they made, for example, like Donnie a darker brown and Mikey a brighter green, because if all the scans are going to look the same, how are you going to know unless if you look at the armbands, the headband? Coming down here, some more Marvel Legends coming all the way down at the bottom. I don't have a big card collection, but you'll see a lot of Mustangs, love Mustangs, Camaros, really anything classic from the, the classic muscle car days, you'll see down here towards the bottom. Coming back into the WWE figure display, I would have to say the highlight from this, it has to be this Ultimate Edition lineup that we've seen. So you need one Maki and you need one Lucy for both, right? You need for the Hulkster, for John Cena, Brock Lesnar, The Fiend, Charlotte, Finn Balor. Yeah, we did miss a lot of in between, but know that the Ultimate Edition line, it's only extending, and I had to get some case protectors for these two, because that's what you need. You can't just have the UE out of the package. It's got to be in its case protector in order to keep that value at an all-time high, and these are, you guys. This line is picking up really just about every finger that you're seeing up here. It's ranged, once it sells out, anywhere between $100 to the $300 marker. So again, that's the importance of having a one Mock and one Lucy. All up top right here, starting from the corner, moving all the way through over here. It's going to be new generation. Well, it's going to start out with Golden. This is going to be the tag teams during this era. Moving back over here, it's going to be all Golden. So like Hulk Hogan days, you'll see that on this shelf. And you'll see doubles of Macho Man, probably the most common. Him and the Hulkster, you're going to get quite a bit of. Moving over here, this is actually one of my favorite times. This is the new generation. This is when I started watching wrestling. So Shawn Michaels, Bret the Hitman era time. This was it for me. Coming on over here, this will be new generation as well, but it's going to be the other big dudes, right? So we got Vader, and I know you're like, dude, what the hell's the matter with you, bro? You got Vader over here, you got Bam Bam over there, you got Bam Bam over here. Well, I think what it was during the new generation, it was these freaking mastodons that were bringing the attraction, right? So if you got like a 7'5", 8 tall monster such as Andre the Giant, dude, all those tickets, of course, they're going to sell out. Yokozuna too, he also filled in the crowds pretty good. Undertaker, probably the top superstar when you're saying the super heavyweight division that just really covered every ground, right? Ability, agility, attribute, everything. Getting into the opponent's mind, the man knew how to do. Over here, this is going to be all of my luchadors. It doesn't matter if it's WWE, AEW, Lucha Underground, the masked character you'll see located. And some right here, early WCW days, and I was kind of having a clash. I didn't know whether to display them over here or in my WCW section, which I'll show you in just a sec. Coming back down here, Charismatic Enigma as well as Matt Hardy. So I think it just comes hand in hand to include Matt if Jeff is going to be in this shelf. And this shelf right here, you guys, it has extended quite a bit ever since Mattel had taken over the Legends deal on Jeff Hardy. Now, most likely it will come to an end soon, so we definitely got to capitalize. Coming down here, we have Andre the Giant mixed in with all of the big shows that were made by Mattel and a little bit of Jakks, some of the ones that did stand out to me for sure. It had to have been that Super 7. You'll actually see the packaging back there. You won't see it down here. You'll actually see them up here, but I did my own touch where we put an old Jakks head scan on this body, and I just think it works pretty damn good. Now, TNA, this is going to be all TNA customs. Just about 90% of these figures were all custom made because Mattel has never made it. It was Jakks, and you'll actually see a couple of them in the loose display, such as this Sting and that Hulkster located on the back, as well as a Stinger on the back and the Genetic Freak located on the back. Pretty rare. Haven't taken that out of the package, mainly due to the rarity, so I had to make my own custom version. I can't find him. Oh, he's right there. So at this time, I'm using like a Jax, but I think for now it'll work once we actually get around to making its own custom. Really the only one that we're missing in a full Mattel form, so that's definitely on the list to be leveled up on the next step. Over here, we got retros. We have mixed in with Mattel as well as Hasbro, and a lot of them, it's kind of hard to tell because when they had recreated these, a lot of the characters had a lot of the same similarities. I think that's the reason why it's just blending in real well. Coming up here, we got CM Punk. CM Punk. You can actually go ahead and consider this shelf the beginning stages. And yes, Hero Fix, what are you talking about? There's a whole bunch of CM Punks on the shelves, but we have a new contract, AEW. You know they're going to be pumping them out. I don't know if they'll be making some based off his earlier days, mainly due to WWE and copyrights and all the shenanigans, but still, this is only the beginning stages for the Punk shelf. Moving up one shelf up, it's going to be the Booyaka Booyaka. We have the 619, the master, not just from the 619 area code, but the master of the 619, Rey Mysterio. Yes, if you guys are curious, Chase, he did make this Joker custom. This one and the Wolverine, well, actually, he didn't make this one, but some of these Rey Mysterio figures, a lot of them were either made by the community or some that I dabbed in, such as his return. As soon as he made the comeback, I really wanted to do my own touch, so we definitely got there with the mask on and the mask off. So if you guys ever were curious, if you haven't logged on to the WWE Network Hero Fix, that doesn't exist anymore. Now it's on Peacock. Well, I'm just saying, dude, if you saw Rey Mysterio in the old WCW days, that's kind of like what the man looks like without the mask. And yes, he's got horns, but that was based off his character, and the gear does not match that specific scan, but I just wanted to mix in right there for the early WCW days. Now, moving back on over here, we got WCW Monday Nitro taken over by the oh, that's right, Hulkster, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, The Big Show, the whole madness right here, right? Macho Man. You can't have the Macho Man with Miss Elizabeth. And yes, one little bonus, of course, that Toy Biz entrance stage, which I know a lot of people are requesting that. For the next stage, it's got to be one of two things. Either A, it's got to be the Attitude Era, or the WCW Monday Nitro. EC Dub. That's right, RVD, the return of the RVD figures. It is fastly approaching. Before you do, though, remember the origin. Remember where it all started, because that's what ECW was all about. Ain't that right, Macho Man? Dude, Macho Madness, it happens on every shelf here in the WHF fam. That kind of goes for Ultimate Warrior. There are a lot of Warriors missing, but I had to mix them in right there with the new generation, the golden. I'm going to hop back on over here, you guys, because this is still right here, the shelf that's going to bring it all to the entire world, right? I mean, think about it. The Hulkster, they're kind of the guys that had put the whole wrestling company into the grand stage of it all, right? Eventually, it got a little bit darker. It was a Monday Night War. WCW, they were trying to do their best, and there is a lot right here that are missing on the actual display shelf. That's because a lot of them had fallen, but still, one important shelf for sure. Look, this is what happens, dude. When you got this many figs, usually one will tip the other, and then eventually you'll have all these falling over. Ruthless Aggression will be all located right here. All the Stingers and the Hulksters mixed in together. The zombie line will be on the very bottom shelf. And one specific line that I would personally love to see come back, especially since we're in the month of October, a lot of these zombie characters, such as some of the current guys that are on TV right now, would really benefit from this display. This section is going to be all Shawn Michaels, all Heartbreak Kid. Earlier days on the left, later days on the right. Ruthless Aggression will continue, so this is the shelf that we did just see. So we kind of have to put it right there side by side with the rest of the guys. So later NWO, we saw the earlier as to what they were doing in WCW days, but this is all based off Ruthless Aggression. And then WCW is going to continue up here to mix in with the rest of the NWO as well as Wolfpack members. So all WCW right here and all Edge figures. Edge is one of my favorite superstars, so I really wanted a specific devoted section for this man. And then this is Jobber City Central. Anything during Ruthless Aggression is going to be on this shelf, and then down here towards the bottom, it's going to be the Eyebrow Raisin. That's right, The Rock, the People's Champ, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. We got Latino Heat. heat. And then we also have the Ghostbuster versions of the WWE figures. Now, if you guys are curious, like if you're wondering like, bro, what is going on? There is so many shelves that are missing. Well, I'm gonna tell you this right now. A lot of them, you guys, actually have been stored into shelves. So if you guys are curious, like, why are we doing this video right now? I'll tell you why, dude. A lot of these figures, actually the entire display that you're seeing right here, it is being relocated. So I wanted to make sure that I capture it. So a lot of the current guys, as we did mention, will be in bins. So my Seth Rollins, my Bobby Lashley's, the figures that I use regularly will actually be located over here. That way we can do the whole shooting of it all. It just makes sense, right? Because if we're using them regularly, it wouldn't make sense if we kept putting them back up on the shelf and having the same problems that you guys did see. No different than the WCW section. Give me your thoughts though. Let me know what your favorite section is. Appreciate you guys joining in. Again, if you guys are stopping by for the first time, hit the subscribe button, drop a like, and we'll see these booyaka booyakas on the next video.